I'm more of a doer. I'm a doer, and if standards get in my way, I'm gonna throw it out the window. But because I've been working in many creative team environment. I
Yeah.
have to work as a team. Team members have hold my standard up because they're like putting me in a check and balance.
Right.
They keep me going to
Hmm.
higher strides. So I push myself to higher the standards even though I don't like it. Because surprise, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm a doer. You know that you see the difference?
Yeah.
Now, in my area that is filmmaking, I kind of have to um, push myself to the visual quality, even though people don't really know that this is very minimal. It's just that I really know where to how to use
Maximize it.
maximize it.
Yeah, but I think it's a different perspective just because you're an educated doer, which is
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
right? So you're an expert in your field. So where most people will probably trump up on, oh, but it's not this, it's not that. You're like, dude, that's the last thing I'm worried about, man.
y-
But it's the idea of you being an expert in your field already, to where you can overlook those things and you can compensate it in the editing, or to adjust certain lighting to do a certain thing. So
yeah. You
it's
said it
just
perfect.
different.
Yeah, you said it perfect because I think everything first in theory because I'm a teacher. So in my head goes in theory first. I will also obviously go to the practice because theory can get you so far.
Right.
But in theory, I build this all first. You get
Right.
what I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a nice
It was a mental blue note, or blueprint before it became an actual reality.
yeah, man, I can't wait to keep diving in it. So let's start. This is the Filmmaker's Room. I'm super excited because I got my hometown BFF from live, Ricky Chavez,
Let's go.
Ricardo Chavez. Oh man, I'm so excited. I always wanted to have you here in my podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for having me, man. This is amazing. I
It was
love it.
bound to happen.
That's it. Yeah.
Don't forget, if you like this content, to subscribe, hit like, all that good stuff, hit follow. And today, our special guest is very interesting because he's an entrepreneur, he's a barber, he has his own podcast, Tab Beat TV3.
Yep.
He also have like three or four barbershops,
Three
three
barbershops.
barbershops.
Yep.
He makes community events. He makes competitions. One of his barbershop is actually in the UCF, or the
Yep.
the
Yep.
biggest
Yep. Inside of the
university.
university. Yeah.
That's actually super great, and he's actually been interviewed. He's interviewed many celebrities like Victorino, so
Yeah.
that's super great also. And this is only the start. So today is gonna be actually a more playful topic.
Do it.
So it's all gonna be about barbers, filmmaking, and leadership. I think we can do it all.
We can do it all.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I'm with that.
So let's start with you, obviously. The first question I want to bring up, and let's dive really deep in,
Let's
okay?
do it.
Let's go a little bit philosophical here. What was the spark of your creativity?
Oof. In what area of my life? Because there's been a couple sparks.
You're a multitasker.
Yes.
You basically try to achieve everything that comes up in your head.
100%.
Yeah, but you look on unique ways how to do that.
Yeah.
And I think you and me, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit here, but I think you and me had like the same spark.
Yeah. It's a gift. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that like you and I have in common, the more pressure, the more is going on, the more chaos, the better we perform. Like most people kind of crumble under that stress, as to where that's when I shine the best, right? For me, I've learned that if we're having an event and we forgot to get water, people are freaking out. I'm just like, go get in the car and go get the water. That's the solution. So we're firefighters. So we understand that most people would see a fire, flee in the other direction, as to where a firefighter sees the fire, wants to go inside the fire to figure out how to shut down the fire, how to turn this off. So some people get it, some people don't. The ones that do it, once you understand that that's your gift, or that's your spark and that's what got you going, man, that's when you're really able to take it to the next level.
I love the firefighter analogy because I always tell people when people ask me what do you do, I always tell them I'm like a plumber. I just go to the problem, look where the leak is, and
Yep.
try to fix it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that I know to do. And when I say you and me got the spark from like the same place, I always go to our childhood.
Yes.
We had a huge problem when we were kids, and people, this is real life, okay? You
It
cannot.
might sound crazy, but this really,
This
everything that we're gonna say, I promise you happened.
is real life. So we had a huge problem. We didn't have money.
Bruh.
We needed
But
money.
we didn't know that we needed, like, that was the problem, I think. We didn't really know that, I think. At least I didn't really, I don't know, it was weird. It was
Yeah,
weird.
but eventually, even though we didn't understand money or
Yeah.
whatever, we kind of knew it was valuable,
Yes.
right? And we had to learn one way or another on how to fix that problem.
100%.
And I don't know who came up with the idea, but something sparked and
Yeah.
said, "Hey, let's just go to every house in the neighborhood
Mhm.
and try to sell them something, even though they don't need it or whatever.
Right.
We're gonna make them think they need it.
Right.
Let's just go with pencils. I don't know. Maybe
Right.
maybe people need pencils to write something.
Sure.
And we went with a box of pencils,
Yep.
and
Door by door.
door by door, and started selling pencils.
Yeah, I wish I would have had a camera back then.
Oh my god! Right? We could have
I
made
think
viral videos.
no,
doing
yeah, I
that.
would have been already on YouTube.
100%.
I would have been competing with Mr. Beast at this point.
How does this goes back to the conversation is many of my students always ask me, Professor, I don't know where to find money, or I don't know where to get these Kickstarters or whatever. Hey, there's always the old fashioned way.
Right.
We used to do it the old fashioned way. You just go and do something of value in
Yeah,
society.
do the work.
Do the work.
Yeah.
And you're going to find something
Mhm.
that you're useful in.
Yep.
And that put us in a place of creativity.
100%.
So I think it was from there on that we became what we. This is the result of that.
100%.
It's crazy, right?
No, it really is. I mean, I think that, I mean, that's what sparked entrepreneurship for me. I don't think it was something that I chose. I think it was just birthed. Like, it was just something that we started off selling chocolates, and then we went door by door selling chocolates, and then we saw that, okay, well, it costs us this much more to get the boxes of chocolates. Well, let's get a box of pencils. We get more pencils, $1 a pencil, more doors, more money, and that was the idea. Then from there, we ended up buying a bucket and a car wash kit to clean cars. And then we realized, well, now we don't got to buy nothing. All we got to do is go knock on doors and wash cars. And so we learned that we went from selling an item to finding a cheaper item at a higher ticket cost. Then we went to, well, let's sell a service. So it's like you said, man, we just really got creative with the strategy of selling, right? Sell something to get the money to then pour it into whatever it is that we were trying to do. Whether that was, I wanted to buy a bike, I wanted to buy a scooter, I wanted to get a skateboard, whatever we were trying to save money for, which was most of that type of stuff, we just found a solution to the problem.
Yeah, and then life sadly divide us.
Yep.
We had to. I had to stay in the island, Puerto
Mhm.
Rico, and you came here to Florida, right?
Yep.
So you ended up becoming an entrepreneur, a businessman here in Florida. So how's business in Florida? How you find your place?
Barbering has been one of those weird things where, again, it's not something that I originally selected that, oh, this is how I'm gonna make my career path. Honestly, I went to a program in high school and I was doing electrician. And I was really interested in that. I almost said, man, I would love to become an electrical engineer and kind of just go down that path. And I wonder what that would be like. During that time in 2008, 2009 is when the economy tanked and I was fresh out of high school, starting that job. Didn't work out. I was always cutting hair though. My mom was a hairstylist. My aunt was a hairstylist here in Orlando. So we kind of just, it was kind of around me at all times. And I would cut my friends and they would pay me for it. I don't know if it was a good job or not, but they would give me the money. So I was like, well, this works. And so one thing led to the next. I ended up getting in a barbershop, going through that whole process. And years down the road, I eventually got the opportunity to not only run a shop, but eventually I became the owner of that barbershop. And then that's what led to continuing to opening up several barbershops.
But barbershop wasn't enough, and this is going to be the circle and
Right.
where we end up in this conversation in the filmmakers room. Is that I started noticing that you also took advantage of social media, but
Yeah.
not in the same way as everybody thinks. You got really went to the marketing creativity process with videos.
Yeah.
You started uploading videos after videos, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, reels, short, long format. How is it that you find yourself making also videos?
Well, I think my industry during the pandemic really evolved, right? It's great to be able to do walk-ins and all that other great stuff, but it got to a point for me where I really understood that um it's all a part of it. You got to market yourself. You got to really sell yourself in what you do and what you offer, and that's what really started taking things to the next level for me. Was that like, all right, well, if I can't walk to people or see people, how else can people receive my message? How else can people get to know what Revamp Barbershop is, who is Ricky, what services I offer? And so that's kind of what really sparked the, hey, let's get on social media, let's get online, let's really push that forward.
Did you know how to do video, use the camera, mics?
Oh no, man, I have no idea. I
Well,
am YouTube University, man.
how was that? How was that YouTube University? What was you learn first? You said, okay, I got this piece of camera. What was? Tell me all the process.
So actually, I had one of my guys. He had a Sony camera, and he was like really into it. So he educated me on, hey, go get a camera. Let's start making content. So I kind of started doing that for a little bit, and then I kind of fell off the wagon. I was just like, man, this is just too techy for me, like too much. I ended up I ended up giving away my camera to one of my clients that he started making videos and content for paintballing. And so he has, because when we were kids, we used to go paintballing, and he was telling me how he wanted to make content doing that. I felt in my heart to give him my whole camera setup, and I just gave it to him. I had like a whole gimbal. I had the whole thing. Gave it to him. It just wasn't for me. And time passed, and I kind of realized that, man, my industry is just headed in that direction. I think the world is already in that direction where everything is visual. Everything is, how can you connect with people beyond being a barber, being a filmmaker, being a construction worker. I mean, I have literally sat down on my phone and watched videos of people cleaning carpets. Have you ever seen those videos before?
Yes.
It's mesmerizing. So I think that's just the way of the world.
How does the video technology, change the game for a person, no ordinary barber like you? How does the video change the game? Because I think everybody obviously has a craft, has its purpose in society.
Yeah,
But when you take video in your hands, something changed.
100%.
Tell me.
So I think how can I answer this the best way? I think making content is just the best way for you to connect with your end consumer. And so, if that's your goal, or to leave a legacy, or to share your story, because maybe somebody out there is going through maybe similar things that you're going through, and you can give them genuine, actual advice, so that they can cut the corners that you maybe suffered. So I think content has just it's just evolved. It's changed my industry. I think if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're a leader in anything in any type of industry, you should definitely be doubling down on content.
And you said something very important is to tell your story.
Right.
So how do you find the courage to tell your story? Like eventually you very quickly get awareness that you become vulnerable. You're telling to everybody out there what
Yeah.
you're all about. Did you became maybe one case afraid, or you just were very secure about it?
Not really, man. Honestly, I hate being in front of the camera. To me, it's like one of the weirdest things. It's not really, especially like this type of content, I can do all day long. Doesn't bother me at all. The content of me being by myself, speaking into a camera, like there's somebody there, freaks me out.
It's
Like
scary.
it's just weird. I feel like nobody's really there. Like, who am I talking to myself? And I've had to, you go through the phases of thinking, there's a word for it, but I just can't think of it right now. But you feel like you're, faking the funk. Like, is this really you? Are you, like, like, this isn't, you're not really being authentic because
Yeah.
there isn't an actual person in the room. You're not actually having a conversation with this person. But I've had people counsel me through that. I've had people educate me through that. And I've learned that.
How was that? Like education? How?
So I just went through, like, I follow a lot of specific people on YouTube, that that's what they do. They teach you how to get in front of the camera and speak to the camera and create an avatar out of the camera. So instead of it being a camera, think about it of it being an avatar, a younger version of you, or a person that has asked you a question in the past, and maybe you just out of knowledge you answered it, thinking, "Oh, this is basic knowledge. Everybody should know this." Well, not everybody knows it because not everybody's an expert in their field. So because you are, you're able to share that knowledge, and it feels very common to you because you deal with it on such a regular basis. But the reality is that it might not be common to most people.
Yeah, it's definitely frightening.
It is.
Even for me, people don't even get it. Obviously almost all of my videos I have done it behind the camera, right? But when I have to be on front of the camera, it's literally like looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
You're looking to all of your insecurities, all of
Right.
your failures, all of it, and it amplifies by 10.
Right.
And you become like, are people going to see this? Are they going to? But you have to find yourself.
Right.
You have to be authenticity. You can't fake it. There's no
Right.
way how to fake it.
Can't.
And that brings much value to people to follow
To the
you,
consumer, yeah, for sure.
because people will identify with you.
They will.
And no matter who you are, where you are, people will follow you if they feel you're talking as yourself,
Right.
because you have something special to tell. Your story is important
Mm-hmm.
and it must be told.
100%.
And this is very important for business people in any demographic.
Yeah.
And that's why I bring you to the show, because I wanted to bring an ordinary guy that has his own niche, his own demographic, his own business, but he ended up doing video.
Yeah.
Because for me, those are the most genuine filmmakers, because you're basically telling the story of your life
Yeah.
and you find your audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's very powerful. And you started creating content here in Florida. How was the response here with your demographic, your public, everybody that's following you? So this help your business, or tell me?
Well, as far as it's definitely going to help your business if you do it correctly, right? That's another thing that, like, it's not to just hop on there and throw videos, but getting on there and making the content and learning the mistakes that you do will still help you no matter what. So even if you're at, hey, it's just your phone and you're gonna just record the video, just do it, man. The one thing, one of my business partners, we have this conversation all the time, and he's like, "Man, I just hate being in front of the camera." And I told him, I said, I hate it too. But you know what? I'm okay with willing to look crazy for my business. If that's what other people think across the screen, they think that I'm, oh, some crazy guy that's just posting videos about his barbershop and his podcast and his business. I am okay with that.
Yeah, and it's not bad. I'm gonna tell you why. People just like having fun watching videos.
Yeah.
You have to entertain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You cannot be this boring guy.
Right.
You have to actually, be happy about
Yeah.
your content and show people that you're also having fun.
Right.
It's not people laughing at you, it's laughing with you.
Right.
You have to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
You definitely did. Especially then I started seeing that you also went into the podcasting
Yeah.
world. And I saw you actually started out like any other podcast, humble beginnings, but actually then later on bringing some very big celebrities like
Yeah.
Victorino and everything. So podcasting, how has it influenced? And I want to talk about how it is. It's video podcast.
Yes.
It's video podcast. This is very important.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, today everything is visual. And
Mhm.
it's everything, people. I remember when I started out thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do with this skill? Video.
Yeah.
Well, now everything's video.
Everything.
Everything is everywhere. And it's just going to keep going.
It's not gonna stop.
It's not going to stop because it's even being more consumed, especially in podcasts.
Right.
Podcast now is even got into Netflix and everything.
100%.
So tell me all about your podcast and
All
how it
right.
started.
So my podcast is called Tap TV3 Talk About the Barber Business. And so again, it's just for me, it was another platform that I've created to help the younger barber, the older barber, and the current barber. That's why it's called Tap TV3, past, present, and future. So the older barber might feel like they're stuck, right? They've been cutting hair behind the chair. Maybe they didn't get to open up their own barbershop, or maybe they did. Maybe they did buy the house. They did open up a barbershop and they still feel stuck. I bring on people and guests to give them strategy, tactics on how to continue to grow, different avenues you can do in your business to grow and scale your business. So that's why the podcast really like was birthed through that idea, that philosophy. Also the current barber that maybe is looking for direction on what to do, where to go, how to market. Should I be making videos? Should I be making content? How much content should I be making? I think we all kind of ask these questions. And in my niche, I realized that there was groups of people maybe or like singular people feeding these questions, but there wasn't a specific platform where people can be invited on and kind of have this type of open conversation of saying, hey, when I started barbering, I would give out 200 business cards a week. I would do 15 phone calls, this many text messages. There's no strategy. So a lot of barbers just kind of get into it and they start cutting hair and hopefully end up in a good shop. That's kind of how they swing it. And I didn't want it to be that way anymore. I wanted barbers to have the knowledge, have the platform. There is a lot of resources on YouTube, but I don't think a lot of people are having the right conversation on YouTube. Like, hey, all right, you're cutting hair. Well, I don't want to cut 15 people a day every day for the next 15 years. So what's the plan? What is the strategy? What is the exit? Are you using this barbering platform to then become a real estate agent, an investor, or own multiple businesses or different businesses? So that's where the podcast kind of was birthed into that. And it's morphed into this where now people are like, oh man, I want to be in your podcast because I want to tell my story. Some of these stories that I've heard of how barbers became barbers has been mind blowing. I mean, we've had people cry on the podcast. We've had people tell us their story of being in the world of the streets to then becoming a barber and being treated as a professional, being awarded awards in my industry, being, now educators, traveling, national educators, international educators. So to see that process and to be able to have a platform where you can share that process is what Tab TV3 is all about.
See, I love this because even yesterday I was talking to one of my students and he was like, Professor, I don't know what videos to do. And
Right.
I always tell them, just do stuff that you know and they're unique to you. It's your voice. Use it. Speak out loud.
Yeah.
And how do you feel? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel mad? Do you feel happy? Speak about that.
Hmm.
But definitely the most important thing in today's world that everything is audiovisual, go for something unique to you.
Yeah.
It can be a demographic, it can be a group, it can be a topic,
Yeah.
but people are looking for different type of contents. Something that I will go for is don't do what everybody's doing.
Right.
Go for something very specific to you. I talk about that in my book a lot because if you're a surfer, you know this. Because when you're trying to catch the wave, if you're trying to catch the one who's everybody taking, when you get there, the wave is all gone.
Or it's busy when you get
Or
there.
it's basically when you get there. But if you anticipate the wave, you can take it early
Yeah.
and maybe have a good wave. See?
Right.
And yes, of course, some of them are going to be early starters and others are going to take a little bit more time.
Hmm.
It's normal. My voice took a little bit more time to until everybody got to hear my voice. But it's okay because all that time, I got to find myself into training,
Yeah.
preparing
Practice. Yeah.
myself, practicing
100%.
for that moment
Hmm.
where I started to see that people were listening to me.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be speaking. In my case, I even do movies or stories.
Yeah.
Or like you said, you have guests and they tell their stories.
Hmm.
So you can be also a microphone for other people,
Right.
for the community.
Yeah.
And this is very powerful. So I always tell students to find their own unique voice, authenticity, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of people, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think a lot of people educate what you just said. And to hear someone like you on your journey and just your expertise to double down and narrow down on your niche, a lot of people don't educate that. They say, "Oh no, you got to pay attention to the algorithm and what's funny and what's interesting and what's this and what's that." And it's like, lately, I don't know why, but I've just been hearing what you're saying a lot more from a lot more of the professional like people have been saying it. They're like, "Hey, you know, stop trying to make content for everybody.
100%.
Focus on your niche, create a community. Once you have that community, then from there you can see which direction you want to pivot in, but narrow down to your niche."
Yeah, and you don't want gazillion followers that don't genuinely pay attention to what you're saying. You want advocates of your brand, of your identity, of your personhood
Right.
that want to look up for you. Because, for example, I know that many people that hear me are students, and not just any student. Some of them are actually already famous or big names, content
Yeah,
creators
in the industry
in
or
the
whatever.
industry. Or
Yeah.
let's say I remember I had a student that was they're still very big in TikTok. It was
Hmm.
huge. And I was like, when he told me, I never knew him. So he was a more Gen Zer. And he was like, "Oh, I do TikTok for a living." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." But then I started thinking, I was like, "Wait, what? This guy actually has a huge platform." And I thought to myself, I asked him, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Well, because I want to learn from you. I want to level up."
Right.
And for me, it's not about the followers. It's what I want to tell them, you know.
Wow.
And that was for me something that I had to talk, that in my case, the people who are listening to me are gaining something
Value.
of value.
Yeah.
And that is very important, because you have to find, and don't stress about it if you haven't find it yet. Again, I think I like became to get awareness of what that was like in my 30s, bro. You know?
Oh, for sure, dude. I
Y-
mean, it's gonna take time.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. Maybe you can have it, and I talk to people who find it earlier.
Oh, those guys are jewels, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
And some of them are very good retention sponders of their
Yeah.
craft, and some of them have been very naive and missed the opportunity. You
Yeah.
know, because it's not when it's gonna happen. I'm afraid of when it happens, because then have to know that I have to continue
Right.
maintaining whatever I've built.
Hmm.
Right? You get me?
Yeah.
In your case, you had a solid foundation. You have the barbershop. You started with something, and that's very important. You need a solid foundation. It can be anything other else. It doesn't have to be even video. For example, in my case, I had students. I had a classroom,
Yeah.
and I also did short films. I was doing short films for film festivals. See, so I kind of was in the community. See,
Yeah.
I wasn't just throwing away video clips to see if they got
Yeah.
viral.
See what sticks.
Yeah. And people, you really don't understand that the viral issue is about statistics. Let me explain something to you. To be like a viral influencer or
Hmm.
something like that, it's like trying to get into the NBA players, you know? Everybody's trying to get in, as
Hmm.
only a few are going to get really like viral.
Right.
But this is not about getting viral clips. It's about getting genuine demographic that follows your content for something bigger than themselves.
Wow.
This is not just for, oh, let's hear a joke in
Hmm.
TikTok. They actually want to gain something of value. And that's the best business, because it's transactional. The best business is when they both win.
Right.
I win something of value having them in the platform, and they gain something of value of my content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think that's something that like what you're saying is such a big key, man. I think a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. I've seen people that, especially in my industry, I've had barbers that will have 20 plus K on a lot of platforms, but when they go to a show or they are a part of an event, they can't even get anybody to follow.
For me, podcast is such a powerful. When podcast started, I remember one of my students came to me. His name is Josue. He actually was the one who brought it up because at the beginning I wasn't a huge podcast listener because I haven't still find out yet, right? The powerful. And he was like, Professor, I think podcasting is going to be the future. And I was like, you crazy? Really? Do you
Yeah.
think that? And he was like, no, Professor, it's going to be not only the future, it's going to be the future of everything, video also. And I was like, oh, really? Video? Really? Oh my God, he was onto something.
Yeah.
He was onto something because nowadays, podcast, something that I learned like about podcast is that it's a long format. It's not a short format. It's a long format audiovisual content. You know what other content is just like that? Movies.
Movies.
And this is the form. So basically, you're making movies. And what we're doing is engaging people in a long format story
Yeah.
they can enjoy and being entertained and gain something. And that's powerful.
Yeah. No, for sure. It is.
Yeah, I wanted to know about how did you find the equipment for your podcast? How did you set it up, the
Oh,
techniques, maybe a little
um,
bit about that.
all right. So that was just again YouTube University. But what ended up happening was I knew somebody else. Big shout out to Stilo Barber. He's in Orlando, Florida as well. He had a podcast and he had invited me on his podcast, like, and we were gonna set some things up, but long story short, it just didn't work out for him. He had some other stuff going on, so he was moving. A lot of motions that were going on his end. But he ended up calling me one day, or I saw that he was selling it online, and I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, you're really selling all your stuff? What's up?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm moving. I got different plans. I'm heading in a different direction, and so I got to get rid of this stuff." I said, "Bro, wow, man, like it kind of blew my mind that he was letting that go because I felt like it was just something so different that my industry hasn't really seen. We got financial podcasts, we got a lot of other podcasts, but my industry itself, there's maybe 5 podcasters that are really doing something in the industry right now, maybe. So it's kind of like really early on for me in my industry. You have solo podcasters, but like actual full on set podcasts, not a lot of people are doing it in my industry. And at that time, I was watching a lot of podcasts and I felt like how your student felt. Like, yo, podcasting is going to be the future. And to see where it's at now, a couple years later, podcasting is running the game 100%. Um, so he ended up just kind of telling me, like, hey, I just need to get rid of this equipment. So I don't know what I really bought, but I know I bought a bin full of stuff. Right. And he was like, hey, just give me this much. I was like, honestly, bro, like, I'll give it to you if you bring it to me tonight and I'll give you the cash. And because I want to help you out. We're good friends, bro. And I know you're going through something right now. So here you go. And he was like, bro, you for real? I said, yeah, dude. Comes to the shop, drops everything off. Again, I'm thinking I'm gonna get maybe like a little microphone, I don't know. Next thing I know, I have a full-on roadcaster system thing, 6 microphones, stands. I have a portable, a portable like thing that it's wireless,
That was
bro.
a gamble.
Bro, it was a gamble. It was like a surprise. Like I didn't know what was going on in there.
A mystery
Yeah, a
box.
mystery box. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what it was. And so I get home and my wife's like, "Yo, what is in this box?" And I was like, "Babe, I'm gonna start a podcast." She was like, "Oh my god, now we're gonna start a
Here we go
podcast.
again.
Here we go, right?" And honestly, like 7, 8 months pass by. I do nothing with this stuff because I have no idea how to even plug it together. I don't know what does what. I have no idea. Long story short, I ended up just buying it from him for that, and I ended up not using it for months. Then one day I was like, man, what am I doing with this box? I was cleaning out my house. I was reading a book actually called Atomic Habits. I don't know if you ever heard of
Yeah,
that
of
book.
course, yeah.
I've read it already twice, man. It's like one of my favorite books. I've recommended to a lot of barbers, a lot of people that struggle with kind of scrambling in their brain a lot. It helped me get organized. It helped me realize that when you put an idea on paper, it's no longer just an idea. Now it's become something, right? And when you tackle that something into like your day and your life, it becomes reality. So just structuring all your visions and your dreams and your thoughts. So one day I'm organizing all my stuff and I'm like looking like, man, I have a GoPro that I forgot I even had, and just like this camera thing and this and that. And then I'm like, man, what am I doing with all this podcast stuff, bro? I don't even know what's in here. I open the box back up. I go on YouTube, how to plug everything in. I plug everything in. I start recording. I actually did a podcast with me, my wife, and my two kids. We all tested the whole equipment out and we recorded it. I had my dad call in. Like I could receive phone calls from this thing and it could stream live on like the setup is crazy, bro. The stuff that you could do on there that I didn't even know. And so that kind of evolved into me saying, all right, now it's time for me to take this serious and let's really do this podcast. And that's kind of how I got my equipment. So to be real, I just got lucky. I mean, I don't know if anybody else gets that type of luck, but I got lucky.
No, no, but it's not only about luck, as you mentioned. The book, it's not only by luck. You also had some self drive, some
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
self motivation.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I working in this video making industry. I had you don't know the countless students that don't find it how to start making a video
Yeah.
in any scenario. And sometimes, Ricky, they also have like all of the means. I've been in with many students in studios with all of the cameras, all of the biggest gear you can imagine,
Yeah.
gazillions of dollars in equipment, and there's no creativity.
Mm.
Creativity is very valued here.
Yeah.
It's very important because you have to create.
Yeah.
You have to start making something, right? And people sometimes think I have the greatest equipment or whatever. It's not.
Yeah, but I think that's the challenge. I think we're sold that too. You know, like I get it like online, like if I'm sponsored by this microphone company, then I'm gonna tell you, hey, 100% this is the best mic you can get in the industry right now, right? So sometimes as consumers, we think that we need the backlight, the this, the that, the drop light. And if I don't have this microphone, my audio is not gonna come out. The reality is, man, just like you said earlier, sometimes you gotta just post the content. Just post it and post it.
Yeah, but that effect is nowadays, especially sadly, and trust me, I feel a lot of empathy for Gen Z because we didn't have to deal with this social media giving us false expectations
Yes.
about equipment or quality or whatever.
Everything.
When I started out, I didn't knew anybody, so I kind of went by my own instinct.
Mhm.
Now they see all the winners and want to skip the student process
Yeah.
and straight up, going viral. And it's
100%.
not like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time to build whatever you are,
Yeah.
whatever you became to be.
Mhm.
And trust me, for example, me in my case, as a viewer, as an ordinary viewer, honestly, I follow whoever is speaking in the microphone. I don't care about how HD or whatever it looks.
Right.
If he's telling me some story of value or a content, or it can be other stuff. Of course, it can also be visual. It can also be nice audio. But if it has something of value, I'll give it a shot. I'll give you a
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
And I think it goes for anything. It goes for music. It goes
100.
for.
You know the guy that does bodybuilding? What's his name?
There's many of
Oh
them.
man. But he does like the weirdest content. Like his content is literally his phone,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
goes to the gym and he's just talking to the phone. And
yeah.
he's working out, and like now he became like a actual bodybuilder. People on YouTube, people that I watch and everything, were saying like, man, his content
Yeah,
is not as edited, is not much going on, but man, it's so consistent, it's so raw, it's so real that it started really connecting with people.
it's consistent.
It was consistent and it was authentic, and
Yeah,
people felt more real connected to that person that was working out than all the cinematic this and the da da da.
yeah.
Like I think that phase of social media is kind of phasing out, in my opinion.
Yeah, and where we did get lucky or fortunate enough or blessed, it was that equipment technology has advanced very
Oh, for
and
sure.
has democratized. And I see everybody like getting scared. No, thanks to the democratization of technology, is that somebody ordinary like me, some dude in his house, could make content
Yeah,
and start, reaching out to
yeah.
people.
There's more. I mean, the opportunities now are endless.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
it's
up to
all
you.
on you. It's all
Yeah.
on you. And going for that, atomic bomb equation side of the conversation, you're also a leader in your demographic, right? You're not only you're a team leader for your barbers, also you're a leader for your clients, and also for your community because you have even done event community events and
Yeah.
everything. And in our side of the arena, this is very, very important. And trust me, the majority of students don't even know it. They When I tell them, oh, so here's the basics. You're gonna learn about creativity. You're gonna learn about technology. Both of them we have already discussed. You're gonna learn about business. Everything great. Now, the hardest thing you will learn that you're not gonna learn in school, just as you're gonna learn in the streets or with a mentor. You're not gonna get it other way around.
Yeah.
Is leadership. And then they look at me like, leadership, what is that? And I don't want to be a leader. They see it like a bad statement, right? And I say, well,
You said that they don't want to be a leader, or
yeah, they don't
okay,
think so because the Gen Z, they're more into the shy introverts, right? So they're super afraid even to speak in public.
I think I don't know. I feel like secretly they do want to be that.
Oh, that's good one.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I got a couple young barbers, man, and like as afraid as they are, but when they taste a little bit of like the success or the crushing of the goals because I did this and that, it kind of gives them that little like, why am I afraid?
Yeah, they're afraid because we were talking about the social media false expectations.
Right.
Because now they see the leaders and they see the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yeah.
right?
But that's why, like you said, mentorship is so important because the mentor is going to be authentic with you.
Yes, but sadly, look, we're gonna get into this, but let me
Yeah, let's
first.
do it. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. No, no,
jumping
no,
in.
no.
Let's dial back.
This is gonna be great. It's just I want to explain to you why my students like don't understand it.
Right.
Is because when they say, "Oh, I want to be a director," movie, right?
Right.
I want to be Spielberg, a director,
Hmm.
and trust me, almost all of them want to be directors.
Okay.
They are overlooking what a director really means.
Right.
When you are quote unquote director, you're basically the leader, the director.
Yeah.
They don't get there in their heads. They don't
Mm.
understand that until they're in those shoes. And
Wow.
it's not about saying action or cut, it's about dealing with the crew.
Yeah. I mean, you got your lighting crew, you got
Yeah.
audio, you got this, you got that.
As any other business.
Any other business.
As any other
100%.
business. Now, because they're in this era, they only see the winners. But they see also the crazy standards today nowadays we put on those leaders.
Yeah.
They get a little bit afraid, definitely.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. They get afraid of two things. They either get afraid of failures
Right.
or rejection.
Mm.
Yeah,
But I think we're all secretly afraid of that.
all of us.
Yeah, I think everybody is. I
The
just think
difference
that
is that we didn't have that false expectations.
that is true.
So we had our learning process. We had our own like private time
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we faced it head on. Like it is what it is. I mean, if I did something and it didn't work, I failed. Okay, next.
Yeah, for example, being a leader in your barber, for example,
Hmm.
like you can have this low start, low learn from your failures,
Hmm.
learn from your rejections or whatever, and just keep
Yeah.
going. Now I think they straight up think they're gonna be like exposed or something. You get it?
I do get that, but I also, yeah, I mean that does make sense. I could see how they think that because the fake are gonna get exposed.
That's true.
It's
That's
just
true.
because video and audio is just out there, so you better keep it real, man, because if not, you might get caught.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, there's three type of person. They're the ordinary persons
Yeah,
that I don't see anything wrong with being ordinary, just in case. I think the majority of us are ordinary.
yeah,
They're the exceptional people, the Lee Manuel Mirandas.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
this, it's chosen by God's
yeah, yeah. The
people.
chosen ones.
But the one where you don't want to fall in is the superficial.
Mm,
They're superficial leaders,
yeah.
but you can almost smell it.
Yeah, I mean, I think those people eventually fall off the wagon. I mean, I've seen it happen so much in my career. I've seen people start off and out of nowhere they just skyrocket, right? Buddy's, you know, doing every show, is at every event and is doing this, and then out of nowhere they just disappear for 5, 10 years.
And I want you to explore that now. How do you, ordinary barber, find yourself in the leader position, and how did you, embrace that and try to overcome all of your challenges?
I think the number one thing in my industry is ego. So
Man, you mentioned ego, and your phone spoke.
I think ego is the biggest thing. I think the moment you let go of your ego and understand that that's going to be the fastest route to failure is being led by your ego.
And that's weird because then that's a you problem.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't have to do with the team or the crew.
Yeah, it's a
That's
character. It's a self
it's
character problem.
character. It's you versus you.
100%. So like we were talking earlier, when you got to face yourself in the mirror and make this video and it's you talking to you and you feel weird, is it your ego talking to you? Is it your insecurities talking to you? What is really leading you? And then when you remove all of that noise outside of yourself and you sit here and say, hey, this message, somebody has to hear it. Somebody like me is sitting on the other side of this lens and has to hear it. They need this word of advice. They need this motivation. They need this moment to say, man, I'm not alone. I'm not the only dude that's going through this and that. Like there's people out here that are very similar to me. And then you find your village, as they say, or you find your people. And once you find your people, man, you connect with those people. So to kind of circle back, I think ego is the biggest thing that I've been able to put away. I think the more you fold away the ego and just say, hey, there's a 22-year-old kid that knows how to do TikToks better than you. I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? I might know more about life and other things where I could trade that value with you, but you know about TikTok and I want to learn how to do TikTok better. So let's talk about it.
And the only way to deal with that, the first thing is to acknowledge it.
Right.
Okay, I have an ego problem. Sometimes you're so blind you don't see it, and there was the mentors comes in.
100%.
But the question is, where are these mentors?
So, I mean, I've learned that
Did you
mentors,
got a mentor?
I got a lot of mentors actually. I got mentors in different aspects of my life: spiritual, financial, marketing wise, business wise, future planning. I've even had a mentor at one point where we kind of talked about, hey, what does the future look like for you? Not right now, 20, 30, 40 years from now. How do you see it? What does the end road look like for you? And when you're a hustler or you're an entrepreneur, you're in it, you're not thinking about 30 years from now. You're thinking about, man, I'm trying to make this right now because I don't know what's coming up next. But having mentors has really helped me calibrate what's important, what's not so important.
And I want to make something very clear. You can have the greatest, you can be very lucky and have the greatest Spielberg beside you to
Yeah,
tell you how to make movies. But if you're not a good student, if you don't are not a good disciple, if you don't let yourself to be taught,
right.
it's useless.
100, I mean, you have to be a student to the craft forever.
I've never seen a good leader in life that wasn't first a really good student.
I say that all the time. I say that to my barbers. I say that to younger barbers or newer barbers. I say that all the time. To be a good leader, you had to once be a good student. That's just a fact because like a lot of barbers similar to you, right? In your industry, everybody wants to goes into the film industry because I'm going to be the next producer, I'm going to be the next big, my movies are going to be seen across the world. Okay, great. In my industry, everybody wants to be the shop owner or the event organizer. I do the biggest barber show or I'm the biggest barber on YouTube and all of that. The reality is, man, is that you have to be coachable. You got to be teachable. You got to be able to listen to the people that have done it before you, and know what comes with all of these things. You got to be able to be the guy that holds the microphone for a little bit, that so that you know how to direct that team when that time comes. You got to know how to adjust the lighting, everything.
Man, I don't know if it's my experience, but since I got into Florida, maybe you can show me the way because you've been here longer. It has made me more and more difficult to find people who understand that.
Yes,
Uh,
unfortunately, I do think Florida it has turned into the new Hollywood or the new LA.
hmm.
You know, I think we're very much becoming like a newer LA. I love Florida. I'm a Florida representative. You know, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a Florida boy, man. I love me some Florida. But I do think as a whole, it's kind of shifted.
Yeah, and it's very. This is scary because it's very fast that you can lose your track.
Yeah,
What am I saying with this is you can forget very quickly where you came from.
right,
And this is important because this is the main driver at the
right.
end of the day. Because if it's all about only money, then we can get ego greedy and we lose our sight very.
Downfall.
It's downfall.
Yeah.
And not only that, then we don't pass the torch to for newer generations.
I've also had to learn as a leader in my position is that I might be here to just facilitate that.
We're builders.
Right. I'm
We're
yeah,
building for the future.
right. I have learned that I have to be okay with just being the foundation
Yeah, I think
for
the
the
same
next
way.
generation or for the next generation to come. At least I know that my ground is solid so that when my son or my son's sons or the kids' kids, whenever, they have such a foundational structure that that building will last time.
I
You know?
think the same way.
Yeah.
Totally. I think we're kingdom builders
Hmm.
for the next generation.
Right.
And
But
it's
that's hard to accept
oh definitely. But
because
especially
you're living it, you know?
remember, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
I teach what I learned to the next generation.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I see teachers that don't want to pass the information and look, oh, you really have ego.
Yeah.
How can you, contain the information?
Yeah.
You got lucky finding that information. I don't care if it's quantum physics or whatever. Now it's your duty to pass on.
Yeah.
And yes, that means that next generation are going to do it half faster what you took 10 years. And that's okay. That's part of the process.
Yeah. That is the reward.
That is the reward,
Yeah.
of
Is that you're
course.
helping other people not go through the horror stories
They
you went through.
exactly. They don't have to go to the horror stories.
Hmm.
That's the deal. That's what you built, and that's you're gonna be your legacy. And students might say, Professor, why do you go so hard for leadership, or in this case, we call them soft skills, right?
Hmm.
It's because soft skills, leadership skills, are the skills that actually got me here.
Mm.
Yes, there was the camera, the sound,
Yeah.
the technology and stuff. But honestly, there were other people way better than me in those skills. But leadership was the one that was scarce. Scarce. There wasn't any
Yeah.
leaders.
I mean, I think that's still happening now. You know, I think about that now. I think we have, in a world full of followers, we have very few leaders. You know, everybody wants the followers, everybody wants this, but we have very few leaders, genuine leaders. You know, like you're saying earlier, you're asking me questions about do I have mentors? Do I have this? You know, like good leaders have good leaders.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes us continue to do
Yep.
more or pursue what's next or cut corners ourselves. But like you said, good leaders also don't withhold information. You know, we want to be able to pass that information on and give the opportunity to other people. Leadership is, it's hard, but it's
Yeah. For example, in my book, I talk about this a lot. Many students ask me, Professor, I try to be a leader, but nobody's following me.
yeah,
Well, because first of all, and this is the part, and they bring so many excuses. It's because I'm tall, I'm short,
yeah,
I'm a stinky guy, I'm a woman, or
mhm,
whatever. All of these excuses. No, you haven't earned it yet.
yeah,
You haven't done the work yet.
yeah. That's I mean that's to me that's in anything. The reality is that uh the market's gonna tell you if people want to follow you or not.
Yeah.
and the market will reward you when you're actually leading other people.
Yes, and you will feel it
Yeah,
because
no, it's gonna
it's
happen.
gonna happen sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
You just has to be consistent
100%.
to be of value.
Well, I tell the guys all the time, fall in love with the journey, right? The reward is always at the end. We get that. But when you fall in love with the journey, you don't it does the reward is like it's supposed to come. You already committed to the journey.
For me, the journey is the honor. Is
Yeah, it's
I got the opportunity to be in the journey.
but a lot of times people don't fall in love with the journey.
No.
And I think that's the part that we're struggling with these next generations is that they want to skip the steps to be the leader, but they don't want to go through the process and enjoy that process of what it's like.
Yeah, it's because their main driver has been motivation. Either is motivation for money
Yeah.
or being famous or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
What they don't know is that motivation comes and goes.
Temporary.
It's super temporary. I
Yeah.
was never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a movie today, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
from the beginning to the end. That was it. No, I was actually sometimes I even started a project and finished it with no motivation at all. It
Yeah.
was all pure discipline,
Yeah, commitment.
commitment. That's it. And in this case, sadly, the new generation definitely, and not even the new generation, since we millennials have been having this
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I mean,
I think actually millennials were the ones who broke the system in in that sense.
yeah, yeah. We are the founders
The
of most of
founders
that for
of
sure,
that,
unfortunately.
definitely.
Yeah, it's sad to say, but it's very true. And I think it's because we saw such a small percentage make it
Yeah.
and it be so exposed on everything that we think that, oh, if you didn't do that, then you're not this, you're not
We
that.
became doomsdayers basically.
Yeah.
And they don't want to even try it or even give it a shot,
Hmm.
and then they want to pass these responsibilities to whoever but
Yeah.
not
And
themselves.
blame everybody.
Blame everybody. I think that's why I say that I feel empathy for the new generation, because I think that there's the solution. So if you're new listening to this podcast
Yeah.
and you want to be a barber or you want to be a filmmaker, whatever you want to do, now you got the tech. First, you got the technologies to do videos
Yeah.
just like us.
Resources are there.
Yeah,
So
resources are there.
100%.
And the other thing is, the future looks bright for you right now.
Big time.
Yeah, so now's the moment, because if nobody's trying, well, you give it a shot.
I agree with that, but I also would like to share with anybody that's watching is this. Don't be afraid to shake hands. Say hello to people. Don't forget to be personable. I think that's something that unfortunately we're drifting very far away from. I know COVID had a lot to do with that. We got COVID babies now. We got kids that didn't get to finish high school. Maybe their first couple of years of college was during COVID when they were home. And so the introvert kind of became a thing. And I sympathize and understand most of that. But I also think that don't be shy to shake a hand, say hello, open a door for someone, greet a stranger. I think sometimes we're so wrapped up in either our phones or in our own world, and that we forget to just look up and excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like a simple excuse me, I'm walking by here. That's it. Because we live so disconnected, but yet we're so connected. Does that make sense?
Of course, it's because you lead by example.
Yeah.
And once you start to sacrifice yourself and put yourself for one moment, put others first than yourself
Before you,
for
yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Put yourself into others' shoes, and then you will definitely bring something of value to society, and you will start earning their respect.
100%.
So, closing that circle, I think that was a good statement. Um, I'm super happy that we both of us in different journeys, different strategies.
Yeah.
We find ourselves, we find our teams, we find our crafts, our purpose, and I think that's what is supposed to happen
Yeah.
to every hungry young person who's seeing us. That you
100%.
definitely have a purpose and you can find it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I think this have been a super great podcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think we went over a lot, man. I hope that we inspire the next generation. And I think that's what really matters.
Yeah, yeah. Again, if you're into barber,
Yeah.
videos,
Business,
business,
entrepreneurship, anything.
no matter the craft,
Yep.
where can they follow you?
Oh, you can follow me on any platform, Ricky Revamp. I am on all social media platforms under that, and Tap TV3, any platform as well. We're on Spotify. Hopefully, we will be on Apple Music soon, so we'll have the podcast on there as well.
And of course, if you're from Central Florida and you want to take the
Oh
most
yeah,
greatest haircut in town, where can they go?
you already know Revamp Barbershop in Altamont Springs, UCF, and also my partnership with my location in Apopka, Golden Touch Barber Lounge in Apopka, Florida.
There you go. So, everybody, thank you. This is the Filmmakers Room podcast. You can follow me as Andrew Hernandez, director. Also, you can find both in YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, any of those. Okay. Thank you for being part of us and see you in the next one.
Let's go.